Okay, and if there's questions after, I can, like individual questions, I'll stop the recording, but right now I'll just record it, just that way we have it. Okay, so all I really wanted to do today was make sure you guys were on track, you were feeling okay about the exam. Well, okay, not okay, but moving along towards being comfortable. I did post a breakdown for the midterm. You can find it on Blackboard. I sent an email. I'll just highlight anything and ask if you have any questions. Can everybody see my Word? You should be able to. Let me know if you can't see the document. Okay, so it's online using Connect. It's next week, so the day after Thanksgiving, good and bad. In a way, you get a little bit of extra time to study. I hope that'll help. It's going to be in the lab. That way, you guys don't have to bring your own computers, don't have to worry about plugins, don't have to worry about all of that. The other good thing is that you will be able to use, of course, Connect, and you'll be able to use Excel. So those are the two screens when I walk around that I'll expect to see. And it's lab 5248, so you can find that in the meantime. It's going to be a 90-minute exam. And if you can't write the exam at the given time, please notify me, because we'll schedule it in exam services as a deferred exam. As I'm going through this, you guys, if you have any questions, you can either just interrupt me, unmute and interrupt me, or put it in chat. So your exam is a closed book exam. I will give you scrap paper, just, printer paper, to do any calculations on, because some of you like using paper instead of Excel. Totally up to you. So you'll have access to a web browser where you'll access Connect, and you'll be able to open up Excel and do your calculations. Please bring your Connect login information, because often you guys, we have it saved on our computers like I do. And I just realized I had no idea what my password is because it's saved. So I'm going to have to also bring my Connect login and password for the lab. Now, obviously, you can always forgot your password and deal with it that way, but you don't want to waste any time or have to panic on that day. So to start the exam, you'll enter Connect, select Midterm 1. Now, if you save and exit Connect, it will save your work, but the timer will keep going. And on Blackboard, underneath all this information about the exam, there's little tips for writing an exam on Connect. So that's a nice thing to look at. Now, this year, I'll actually be in the room, unlike the last 18 months. Unlike the last 18 months where it was done at a distance. So anyone who had problems, you'd have to email me, and then I'd email you, and it got a little crazy. So at least I'll be there in case anything goes wrong, and we're just going to cross our fingers that it doesn't. Okay, so read. Oh, I didn't finish the sentence here. The only two windows you should have open on your screen at any time. The only two windows you should have open on your screen anytime will be Excel and Connect. I will fill that out and repost. So Excel and Connect, or the browser, those are the two windows you have open in the lab. And I'll say it again probably on Tuesday. The exam consists of approximately 70 marks. And there's 2 to 4 large multi-part problems and approximately 3 to 6 multiple choice questions covering chapters 10, 11, and 12. Now, you will be able to see your grades oh, sorry, you will not be able to see your grades right after you've written the exam. You'll only see your total scores. Okay, so you can't see details, you can just see what you got. Now, if you do want to see it, we can set up either an in-person or virtual office hours. And what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you so you can see it and then kind of go through where you made errors. Now, in the past, people have found this useful, not so much for the next midterm, but before the final, because of course the next midterm is completely different topics. But we'll talk about that next time. So any questions on this first page, just for the breakdown of the midterm? Just interrupt me or put it in chat. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, good. So here's the information, the detail on page 2 of everything you need to know. And what you don't need to know if there is anything. So chapter 10 and 11, there were some little things we're saying, no, we don't need to cover them. So basically, if the material is listed in the notes, and I've gone through it in videos or in class, it's testable material. If it's in suggested problems in the notes, and the assignments on Connect also cover it, that material, or I'll cover it as well, then that material is testable as well. So anything you see on the suggested problems, and I'm just going to pull up one little thing. Just a sec, I gotta find my notes here. Okay, can you guys see the chapter 10 notes now? Or are you still seeing the other thing? Not seeing anything. Okay, hang on, I'll stop sharing and I'll start again. Samantha, very nice background there. Picture, I guess. Okay, so chapter 10 notes, scroll right to the end. In this case, it's page 14. This stuff on this side here, suggested problems for chapter 10, that's testable, not these extra problems, just the suggested problems. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay, so that's all I was going to do today. If I was in class, I just wanted to be here in case you had questions, in case you had concerns, anything like that. Okay, hang on, let me grab my chat. I see someone is. So in the assignments and the practice problems, they have a check your work option you can select before submitting the assignment. Will that be available in the midterm as well? No, sadly it won't. That's a very good question though. And maybe I'll add that to my edited document where I forgot to finish the sentence right here. Okay, so everybody's good with that. That nice little check your work. I do it mostly for the assignments because doing all the stuff over that you might have got right or wrong, or it becomes frustrating. Let's just say that. So with these big problems, you can check and make sure you're doing it right as you work through, and then you don't have to redo everything, which is kind of nice. But on an exam, of course, we don't want to give you any hints. Okay, great question, Carrie. Anyone else? Okay, so again, 90 minutes, chapter 10, 11, and 12. It's in a lab. You can use Excel and Connect, and there will not be check your work on them. Okay, is it possible to know how, well, hang on one sec. There's a big range of 5 to 10 questions. Well, it's 2 to 4 here, right? And obviously, I can't put 4 massive ones. It's probably about, think about half an hour on each chapter. And I can't say with certainty right now because I'm still editing some of the questions. The multiple choice will each be worth 2 marks, just like in your exams. You know, so it'll depend. If I've got, you know, a multiple choice asking a quantitative question, I won't probably need to ask that in the multi-part problems. So there could be pieces taken out and that'll drop down. So just remember, you guys, your speed has to be fairly quick, okay? Just like any accounting exam you've taken pretty much, you just don't have a lot of time. And the reason we mainly do that is we're preparing you for CPA. I mean, I'm someone who's never taken the full time for an exam until I hit the C and I did a CGA program, those cases and stuff that you have to really watch your time. So that's one of the reasons we're doing this. Okay. Yeah, so Abdi, don't think of it as 5 to 10 questions. Think of it in the 2 chunks because they're completely different types of questions. Okay, for those Connect homework we've done, once you've submitted it, it's locked. Okay, it shouldn't be. You should be able to go back. I will check into that. Just gonna write that down. I have set it so you can access study attempts, so I'm gonna have to ask our tech support. And I know one student, I don't know which class they wrote from, said it was locked, but they went to do it again and it worked. There must have been something. Check into locked questions for assignments. And don't forget, you guys, all of the suggested problems and the extra problems are also on Connect under practice, so you can go through and practice those. Okay, good question, Samantha. I will check into it and get back to everyone. I'll email everyone once I know. It should be set up that way. I don't think more, one question from each chapter. I think more, I'm dealing with 30 minutes a chapter. So like if I could take, let's say, chapter 12, you could either have, oh, I'm so glad, Samantha, sorry. I'm a little bit ADD here. Okay, Samantha, I'm glad you mentioned that you can go back from the C report. So if you do want to check over your, you know what, I'm just going to send out an email. So you go to C report and I will send that out just so everybody knows you can repractice. Good question. Okay, sorry, Umar, back to you. Yeah, think about 30 minutes question, chapter. So let's say I was doing chapter 12. I could ask you for 3 entries from one, under one method, 3 entries under another method, and then do a balance sheet. So that would be 3 little questions. Or I could have you do one whole question saying restricted fund that does all 3 parts. Not all 3 parts, but a whole bunch of entries and then a balance sheet. Does that make sense, Umar? Sorry, you guys, something just went weird on my computer. Is everybody still there? Okay, great. Okay, those are excellent questions. Any other questions, you guys? Okay, so the main thing is, you guys, while you're doing it, if you notice you're doing a question, and even if it's your second time on it and you really have to sit there and think and flip through your notes and go, okay, how did I do it? You're probably going too slow. If you can get through a question, the longer questions, probably 25 minutes, I guess. If you can get through in that time, you're doing well. Any other questions, you guys? Okay, then that's all I was going to do today, other than just answer your questions. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the recording, and that way, if you guys have specific questions, you can ask them. So I will post this recording. I will send an email regarding the report, although you guys all know now, so you guys don't need to worry. And I will correct or fix my little handout there where I forgot to say the 2 screens available, or I should see our Excel and Connect. Okay,